Good morning and very warm welcome to you. My name is Amin Jaffer. I'm the director of the Thani collection, and it's really a great pleasure to have you here today for this study day associated with our exhibition, which is focused on medieval art in England. This is one of three exhibitions that the Thani collection is staging with the Victoria and Albert Museum. And it's a relationship that's a very close one for us. I was myself for 13 years a curator at the Victoria and Albert Museum. My colleague Elodie Collin worked for many years in the exhibitions department. There's an Thani gallery at the Victoria and Albert Museum, and we staged in 2017 an exhibition of works of art from the Thani collection at the V&A. So we feel very much one family. And when we opened the space here in Paris in the Hôtel de la Marine in November 2021, and we started to discuss programming, what we could show that would really add substance and meaning. In our discussions with the Victoria and Albert Museum, what we learned is that although the museum is very well known, it has a very, very big brand and a very big name in Paris and in France, the fact is it has very rarely displayed its masterpieces in Paris. Very few V&A objects, for example, have been shown in Paris. There's the odd important loan and a couple of small exhibitions, but nothing very substantial. So we developed the idea, working together, of a series of three exhibitions, and three exhibitions that also addressed a subject which we felt was very relevant today, which is the relationship between England and continental Europe. And the logical place for us to start, of course, was the medieval period. When I was a young curator at the V&A, as I mentioned to some of you earlier, at the very entrance of the museum, at the very center, was the medieval treasury. It was really perceived as the heart of the V&A's collections. And so it's a real joy for me to see some of the masterpieces from that gallery here in Paris. We chose a deliberately provocative title for the exhibition, Quand les Anglais parlaient français, because we wanted very much to show both to visitors, both to the Paris public, as well as anybody who receives the catalogue or reads about the exhibition, the very close links that existed between England and France during this period. Of course, we must remember that the Norman and the Angevin kings perceived of themselves very much as French and in their French heritage. There was, over several hundred years, constant intermarriages, exchanges of goods, travels of artisans, and of objects. And these themes are, of course, going to be addressed through today. As I say, it's for us a great joy to be working with the museum, to have James Robinson and to have Emma with us, who've curated the exhibition so beautifully. And I must say that it was delightful to hear them, the curators themselves, say that the exhibition afforded them really an opportunity to look once again at works of art which they know very well within the V&A context, but to look at them very differently here, chosen very specifically with the narrative of internationalism and England and its relationship with continental Europe, here in our galleries with its very specific context and very particular scenography. So I would like to thank everybody who is involved today, all of the participants, particularly my colleague Julia Henry, who has organized everything, and to give you a very warm welcome, and to invite James to give his few words of introduction. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Amin. And I'd just like to echo how pleased we are to work with the Thani collection. It's been a wonderful project for us all. It's been quite ambitious because we turned it around very quickly. And but I don't think you'd guess that from looking at the sort of the quality of the displays and hopefully the value of the book that we published alongside it, which was actually great fun to write. And I was remarking to Michael, Barbara's husband, this morning that, I actually enjoyed writing it because it's a very compelling narrative. And I think that's true of the narrative in the exhibition space. It's a very cohesive narrative, and as Amin said, it gave us an opportunity to combine spectacular works of art in a new way, in a way that they're not displayed at the V&A. And we've benefited hugely too from the lighting designer who was a magician really when it came to sort of getting the sort of inherent qualities of these artworks across in quite a difficult space to light. And it's a very rewarding experience to go around the exhibition. I think one of the other great aspects of it is that it celebrates an internationalism of the medieval period. And when I reflected on the groundbreaking exhibitions of the past that have occurred both in Paris and in London, they tend to celebrate their own national achievements. So we've had English art from the Middle Ages in a series of exhibitions from the 80s right through to 2003, which looked at English Romanesque art, English art of the Plantagenet period, and English art of the Gothic period. But we've never really examined in detail the sort of international exchanges that were at work. And this has given us an opportunity to show not just the English achievement, but to place that alongside some works of great quality that were either imported into England or that influenced English art. And that's also been one of the great joys of the exhibition. It's also one of the narratives, one of the sort of subtexts of the exhibition is looking at the supply of raw materials. And so that's another thing that makes it a very rich display. We have textiles, manuscript illumination, but also ivories, metalwork, jewellery. The whole gamut of medieval art is there for you to enjoy in the exhibition. So that was a great opportunity for us. I think, with Amin's words, that's probably all I need to say this morning. And it now gives me great pleasure to introduce the keynote speaker, Barbara Drake-Bain, who's known to many of you as the leading authority in medieval art and culture, of the Sir Paul and Lady Ruddock curator for the Metropolitan Museum and the Cloisters, awarded last year l'Ordre de Chevalier des Lettres et des Arts here in Paris, a great distinction for Barbara to achieve. She's also curated landmark exhibitions on topics as vast as Prague and Jerusalem, making both of those territories securely her home. And now this morning she's going to talk to us about L'éléphant dans la pièce.